Sup, everybody? Welcome to the newest episode of the Hot Stove Podcast. You may notice something a little different this week as Josh puts on that wonderful hat.
Had a partner.
It's only the two of us this week. It's just me and Josh. All of our socials, all of our Twitters are below. You can still follow Zach at ZachN1999, me at marker_box. Josh is at OGBojo42, and Austin is at Westrich Austin. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Make sure to be on the lookout. We are going to do our horror movie episode, our little Halloween thing. Have you watched all of the movies?
I've watched 6. What are you at?
At least I'm at like 13. I've only got a few left.
When we most recently talked, you're like, I got to get on it. You got on it.
Yeah, I got on.
I haven't watched one since.
I've been watching at least one horror movie a day since. A lot of times it's been 2.
Okay, I got to get back on it.
So I think it's 18 or whatever. And I don't remember how the number. I think it was 18.
15.
Was it 15?
15, I think.
'Cause
I was like, that's doable. I could do that.
So we'll be doing that soon. Probably recording that sometime this week. We should have the full crew on for that. Nunez is currently working on his Halloween costume, and Austin went out to dinner, and then we started recording much later than I anticipated. And so he probably could have been on here. I just didn't send him the link.
Who needs him? Good riddance.
If you want to hear more of Josh and I, you can make sure to tune in on Twitter every Saturday. Almost every Saturday at sometimes it's 10:30, sometimes it's 11, sometimes it's 11:30 for Outside the Box Score. We'll be tweeting about it. You will see it on our Twitters, which is why you need to follow us on Twitter. I'm pretty sure I already said like, comment, and subscribe, all that stuff. Get the housekeeping out of the way. That way we don't remember how to do it, or don't need to remember to do it later. Also, I just remembered it's episode 68. Nunez always does the thing where he's like,
hey, big episode coming up next week. Huge.
It's gonna be our Halloween episode. I don't know if he's gonna.
I'm putting it out there. I got toys. They're coming. They're coming next week. I got
on the way.
Let me go to my Amazon really quickly.
They are in the mail.
Let me go to my family's Amazon account to order some fucking sex toys really quick. I hope Dad doesn't see 6-inch butt plug and go, what the hell is that?
I didn't expect this to be an After Dark episode, but here we are.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Let's start. I've got his jersey on right now. Bryce Harper being the hero of the Philadelphia Phillies as they are going to take on the Houston Astros in the World Series. I don't know what your thoughts are on this. I've seen a lot of people being like, yeah, Astros in 4, Astros in 5. They're the much better team.
Yeah.
I have the Phillies.
In what, like 6, 7?
I'd say 6 or 7, yeah, but
okay.
I really like the Phillies in this series. I really do. Every year there's one. They're the team of destiny.
I think and this sounds stupid. I don't necessarily think the Phillies stand a chance in the first 2 games, but that game 3 in Philadelphia,
it's going to be
I think it's going to do something. Yeah, I'll be all over the Phillies in game 3. Mm-hmm. And then depending on how that game goes, I could definitely see those last 2 games in Houston being win or go home for the Houston.
Yeah.
There's something about the energy in that place that gets rocking for Philly fans. I'm not sure they're going to travel all that well, obviously. Houston's going to be pretty Houston-centric, but, I mean, Houston's been there. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. I mean, obviously, Houston's a better team, probably, on paper. They're the better all-around built team. They have more star power that's producing, at least at this point. But I would lean the Astros, but I'm definitely not counting out the Phillies by any means. I mean, to win the series, Houston's pretty big favorites, I think. Right? Like
I just looked at the lines. No, it's moved. Astros right now on FanDuel at least are -190. Phillies are +165. I'm going to be laying a few bones on the Phils, but
they're hedging themselves a little bit. I think it was probably a little bigger to start.
Yeah, I want to say it was like +210 or -210 for the Astros.
I have no real actual insight. And I apologize. I keep looking over here. Of course, Mark knows that I'm sweating out an Oilers bet right now.
Yeah.
But
It's expected.
yeah,
If people
there's 3
don't
minutes
expect
left,
if people don't expect us to be like looking at screens
dude.
because we have money on a game, they're not true hot stove fans.
Contrary to popular belief, a late night sweat on the East Coast watching 10 o'clock games is fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
Like, I love having action on these late night games out on the West Coast. The Lakers game I'm on
Mhm.
Edmonton, I'm on Miami.
I,
Nunez, where are you? God damn it, I need your fucking boys.
I'm on both of those NBA games as well.
It's
Uh,
good. Yeah, the heater down in the first quarter, which means they're most likely going to win the game. I
yeah.
mean, if they're down at halftime, I might double down because, of course, every team that's down double digits at half in the NBA wins the game. So
Unless you're the Pelicans last night.
the Pelicans lost to who?
Yeah. Or no, I'm sorry, the Mavericks. Unless you're
Oh,
the
I was gonna say,
Mavericks
I was
last
like,
night.
I thought the Pelicans won.
No,
All right.
yeah, the Pelicans did win.
Yeah, I had. By the way, Mark, I had the Mavs.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had the Mavs. It's just another one of those ones, man. What are you
hmm
doing?
I also had the Mavs. I
Yeah.
was -5.5, which is why I said I was going to give up betting NBA lines for the rest of the season. And
Okay.
then after I told you that off air, I remembered that I had a little two-teamer, just money line, Portland and the Nuggets. So
Yeah. That's it
it,
happens.
this is my last one. It's my last NBA like straight up bet. I'm only doing player props the rest of the year. Back to the World Series.
Yep.
Um, I like the Phillies because it's funny that you don't think they stand a chance in game 1 and 2. I think Houston wins game 1. I think they probably win game 1 by like 4 or 5 runs. I don't know if it's going to be close. Zach Wheeler going in game 2. Wheeler has been absolutely lights out in the playoffs. I mean, no one
Oh
can
yeah.
touch him right now. And it's
Who's going in?
interesting.
Sorry, who's going in game one? Nola.
Noah.
Oh, okay.
And I was about to say it's interesting that Rob Thompson decided to go with Aaron Nola in game 1, but I think the thought process is, and I don't know this, I haven't talked to Rob Thompson. Rob Thompson, come on the show, but I haven't talked to him. But I think the thought process is, all right, we got Verlander in game 1. Let's throw a guy out there that we're still confident that we can win a game with Aaron Nola on the mound. Aaron Nola is a
Yep.
very good pitcher, but if we go down 1-0,
We got
Zach
a race.
Zach Wheeler right now is as sure of a bet to throw 7 shutout as there is,
Yep.
and that gives you all of a sudden we're 1-1 going into home, going into Philadelphia, which Philadelphia right now is in its prime Philadelphia. Oilers score again.
The empty netter. Lock it up. God damn it, right. God damn it.
But
What do you think you are?
Philadelphia, all right,
We're
Pete.
on to Miami.
Philadelphia right now is peak Philadelphia because they can be really mad at one of the teams, which is the 76ers, and we'll get to them. But they can be really mad at one of the teams, and the other two are fucking great. The Eagles are undefeated. They just fleeced another team for a great trade today.
Dude, that was a nuts trade. Great trade on the half of the Eagle. I loved Robert Quinn when he was in Dallas 3 years ago. I mean, he's still got legs.
He's a
He's still one of the
stud.
fastest rushers in the league, and the guy's like 48 years old.
He had 18 sacks last year.
Yeah,
18.
that's a really good trade for them. And like it's always that trade's been pointing out. Sorry to keep going at NFL, but
Mhm.
they still have 2 first-round picks next year.
Oh
There's
yeah.
a potential for a Super Bowl contender, like a really strong Super Bowl contender, to have 2 first-round picks. One of them from the Saints that might be in the top 15.
It might be in the top 5.
Yeah, the Saints are fucking stinky.
Saints are
And they're
really
starting
bad.
Andy Dalton, by the way. Andy
Yeah.
Dalton's won the starting job.
hmm
I don't know if Dennis Allen is just fucking following Kanye West these days too much, but he has left Jameis Winston to die.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's that's a whole thing, but Philadelphia is going to be rocking. Citizens Bank Park might burn to the ground.
Will that be Suarez probably to go?
I'm assuming Suarez would go game 3.
Okay.
I don't know how willing they are to use Noah on short rest in game 4. It might go with like a Kyle Gibson or something like that.
That sounds stinky.
It does sound
That's
stinky.
that sounds stinky.
They will use Wheeler on short rest if they
Yeah.
need him in game 5. Like, then you have Nola going in game 6. Wheeler will be able to come out of the bullpen game 7 if necessary. Like,
Hear me out.
that's
If you go down 0-3, do you think about pitching Wheeler in game 4?
yes. I think
Okay.
about it. Not
2 days rest, right?
yeah, out of the
He could,
bullpen.
yeah.
Like, if it's a close game, I'm
Like a
bringing him in out of the bullpen.
Okay. Then they brought in Suarez in the bullpen to close. I mean,
Mhm.
to bullpen. He pitched what, one pitch?
Yeah, but they did
Okay.
bring him out, yeah. Uh,
Okay.
we
I like
I
him.
what I won't do if they're down 3-0 and I'm Rob Thompson is show them highlights of, their arch rival
Can
beating
we
them 4 games in a row.
can we talk about the Yankees now? Because I don't
Yeah,
have anything else to preview because I just don't know these teams well enough to be
yeah.
like
No,
how good do they hit against
let's
lefties or this and that.
let's talk about the Yankees.
I saw an article from SNY today, and so let's
Andy
be clear.
Martino, yeah.
Yes, a couple of pieces. The highlights for me of the article stood out that he reckoned that New York needs to change the culture and that the
Mhm.
players in New York are getting, bogged down basically by the pressure that the fans and the media seem to put on them as Yankees. Now,
Yes.
with respect to Cashman and Boone, who are like public enemy number one, they've gone to 5 straight ALCSs.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of asking for success, they're they're succeeding. They're succeeding in their division, in their conference.
Yep.
At what point, and it sounds silly to ask this, but at what point are pennants just not enough? Right? And they're not even winning the pennant though. But like
No,
what
they're
point is this
losing the pennant.
right. At what point is being runner up just not enough? Is 5 the magic number? Are they gonna I mean it sounds like they're obviously running it back with Boone. They're gonna
Yeah.
have to go to 6 before they say maybe he can't get us over the hump.
Mhm.
It's getting a little fucking ridiculous to be
It
honest with
is.
you.
And
And with all credit to Boone for how dumb he is and all the things he said, anybody who watches games that isn't a Yankees fan will tell you that it's lineup construction. This
it's
team is
all
not
lineup
built to win
construction.
games.
Not
The
even a
team's
little
not
bit.
built to win games in October. It's
No.
built to hit fucking 400, 500 home runs in the regular season and dominate teams with
Mhm.
decent enough pitching.
Yep.
This team has one ace, two aces from 4 years ago with Tommy Johns 3 times through them,
Mhm.
and fucking 3 home run kings and
Yep.
Josh Donaldson. I mean, the team's no good, Hal. Cashman's position A problem to me. To me, that's how I see it.
I agree.
Because Boone, regardless of Boone, but you go on.
Well, here's the thing. Aaron Boone should have been out as Yankees manager like 2 years ago. Th
Fair.
this has been a long time coming. The fact that he's coming back for another year is shocking, especially when there's a guy who just had some, not this year, but he had some fun teams in a city like Miami. He's a longtime Yankee, and oh yeah, he's like the most beloved player in Yankees history. Bring
What's that
Don
nickname for him?
Mattingly
Yeah,
in.
what do they call him again?
Donnie Baseball. Why is Don Mattingly not managing the Yankees? It at least give him a shot, even if because I know he struggled with the same thing that Boone struggles with when he managed the Dodgers. He couldn't get over the hump, and you know, I guess
Yeah.
that was 8 years ago.
Right.
You
He's
know,
also spent the last 5 years on a team that has been nowhere near the playoffs, and he probably would beg for this type of opportunity.
yes,
I mean, he's probably chomping at the bit to get the talent that New York has, or the
every
opportunity of talent that New York has.
every Yankees fan between the ages of like 40 and
Yep.
55, their favorite player ever is Don Mattingly.
Not for nothing, that article also points out, like, New York, which I don't agree with at all. New York can't attract talent these days because players, hear stories like that and don't want to play. New York will never be easy to play in.
No, never.
Ask Knicks players, ask Giants players, Jets players,
Ask
ask fucking
Joey Gallo.
anybody. Right. Ask anybody who's a New York athlete if it's easy to play in New York. People know that when they go. One thing, if you're worried about selling New York, if you have to actually sell someone on wearing fucking pinstripes, it's not like every little league in fucking nowhere, Idaho has
Mhm.
fucking pinstripes and everyone wants to be on that team. You don't need to sell them. But if you did, Don Mattingly is the fucking manager might make a little bit of a difference. Nobody
Yep.
wants to play for a guy who had a home run in October once and was praised. Nobody gives a fuck about playing for Aaron Boone.
Aaron Boone.
Sorry, who cares?
It's really interesting when you like break down like Aaron Boone's Yankee career as a player.
But did he get to smell Tino Martinez's fucking jockstrap? Is that what he did?
Well,
I mean,
when Aaron Boone went to the Yankees,
yeah,
he was Bob's son and Brett's brother. He was in all the credit in the world to Coley Mick on the Trill Withers show with Trill Withers, because that's where like he's the one that talked about this. That's what he was. And he compared him to Cooper Manning. Aaron Boone was Cooper Manning.
Yep.
Hits this one home run. He got a TV gig out of it, and I like him on TV. I always liked him on ESPN. I thought he was pretty good. But got a TV gig out of it. He's been the manager of the Yankees because of it. And
that's wild. Yeah, it's wild.
It's wild. And the guy legitimately, and I'm sorry, if you love finishing second to the Astros, good for you. He has done nothing. Aaron Boone and Brian Kelly are the Spider-Man meme. Brian Kelly, head coach at Notre Dame for a decade. One of the 3 most storied schools in college football.
Yep.
Didn't win shit. Didn't win anything. And he killed a guy.
Okay. That was hearsay.
It wasn't hearsay. He personally sent a kid up a ladder in 60 mile an hour winds. The kid fell and died.
Sounds like that kid had it coming.
All right. But we're not victim blaming here today. I will blame Brian Kelly for somehow being able to skirt a manslaughter charge. But it's just the guy hasn't done anything. He gets his team to the playoffs. That's great. In the American League East, you have to compete with Toronto, who's young and up and coming, and they will be good, but they had a few years there where things were rough. Tampa Bay, which has a $17 payroll. The Red Sox are never good 2 years in a row, and Baltimore's been the joke for 5 to 7 years. Like, it isn't that hard to be the best team in the American League East. It really isn't, especially when you have a guy that just hit 62 home runs.
Well, in respect to that, there was, I mean, for a large portion of the year, 3 teams made it out of the AL East in the playoffs. Yeah. And for a large portion of the year, all 5 teams were above 500 with a chance of playing for it.
But how many of those teams
Yep.
were looked at as legitimately on the Yankees level?
None.
Not a one.
Yeah.
The Yankees,
definitely not the Orioles. Sorry, no. Probably not the Red Sox, but
yeah. Certainly not the Red Sox. I mean, it's from pillar to post. Excuse me. It was the Yankees division. And they got one of the greatest seasons in baseball history out of a superstar that's going to go to San Francisco because your organization is incompetent.
Is that so? That's a fun one now. Where does Judge end up? You think it's San Fran?
I think I've been saying San Fran or the Mets for a while. It's, does he want to stay in New York or does he want to go home? He's a Northern California boy. He went to Fresno State, grew up in the area, grew up rooting for those teams. He would be the biggest Giants acquisition since Barry Bonds. He was just in conversation, like the same conversation with Bonds for a number of months.
A lot of comparisons for sure.
A lot of comparisons. He loves Bonds. He grew up loving Barry Bonds. It seems like the Giants would be where he goes. And the report out of San Francisco is the Giants will not be outbid. If he signs somewhere else, it will be for less money than the Giants offered him.
So you find odds, what percentage chance of him returning to the Yankees? Where do you put it?
15.
Really? You're that far down on the totem pole? You think
I
he's done?
don't think he's going to be a Yankee because if he was smart, he would leave. And if the Yankees were smart, they'd let him go. Like, legitimately, keeping Aaron Judge is not the right decision for the Yankees front office to make. I know you want to keep him. I know he's your franchise player. He's a 30-year-old, 6'7" outfielder. How often do guys like that age gracefully?
He's 30?
He's 30.
Ooh, that's a lot bigger. I thought he was a lot younger.
No,
I thought he was
he
like
is
26.
no, he
So
is
he's been dancing
30.
around. Okay. I
Six
will
foot seven, that big. He's going to break down. It's just a
Yeah,
matter of when. Now you can take $350 million
and pay him for
and
the next
spend that
8
on a
years.
shortstop. Spend it on a starting pitcher to put behind Cole. Spend it on a new closer because Aroldis Chapman is a piece of shit. There's $350 million. Even if you just want to break it down, let's say he makes $45 million this upcoming season. Break that down. You think you can't get I'm not going to say you can go out and get Correa or Trey Turner. You
Yeah.
know, I think Tim Anderson's a free agent. You could go get a Tim Anderson. You could go
I
get
mean,
a Chris Bassett. You could
you
go
could go
get
get an Edwin Diaz.
an Edwin Diaz. That'll add up to around 45 to $50 million this year, probably.
Yeah. I saw estimations of like Diaz's contract at like 4 years, 72 million, something like that. Basically upper teens,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I mean, I don't know. I also do you even fucking want that guy? That guy kind of tanked the last he choke jobbed it. He choke jobbed it, but in regards to him, he didn't have many chances to
He had
play in those last down the
very
stretch.
few actual save opportunities the last month
Yeah,
of the season.
right.
So
The
I don't
Mets in
really
general choked that
yeah,
game.
I don't really look into that. I just it seems like there are so many better options if you're the
Yep.
Yankees front office. And this isn't me as a Red Sox fan saying, "Hey, let the best player go somewhere else." I
Right,
like
'cause
Judge. I like him in pinstripes. It's just not the right thing to do.
yeah, like this is kind of a turning point spot for the Yankees where they can be like, okay, we could keep superstar and overpay him for probably too long, or
Mhm.
we could do what most of our fan base has been asking us to do for the last 3 years and build a team
Build a winner.
that's not just meant to hit home runs
Yep.
because it is fun and people love it, and we can watch this guy chase for 62. Wow, that was very blue. We can chase him for 62 home runs for the whole season, and then our fans will boo him in the first round of the playoffs because he's hitting 125 through 4 games. Like, it's fucking crazy. It's crazy. And props to Judge for actually becoming a better hitter throughout his tenure in New York, where he's not just a slugger in the last
Yeah.
2 years. He's actually gotten, I mean, what did he hit this year? 280 something?
No, he was hitting 300. He
Oh,
ended
yeah,
up hitting like
316,
three. Yeah.
315. Yeah, he almost won the fucking batting average. I mean,
He almost won
guys,
a triple crown. He
guys
was
raking.
percentage points away from the triple crown.
Yeah. So props to him. Do you give any credit to the nuclear trade option or signing option of the Dodgers moving Mookie Betts to second base and playing Judge in the outfield
Yeah, do I think it could happen? Absolutely, I do, because I think the Dodgers can work their black
afford
magic
anybody?
and
Yeah.
get whoever the hell they want. It, oh man,
Did
I
Mookie ever play the infield?
he came up as a second baseman. He was moved to the outfield.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Sure, he now has 6 Gold Gloves or something in the outfield, but
yeah, he's
fuck,
one of the great
play
defensive right
anywhere.
fielders of all time, and they're just like,
Sure, he
yeah,
can play
move him to
anywhere.
second. Uh,
Fuck you, Gavin Lux. Get the fuck out of here.
I know
Or,
the fucking Dodgers have this 25, 26-year-old kid who
yeah.
just had a really solid year on limited playing time and has a smooth left-handed swing, and there's like, fuck you, dude. Get
It's
the hell
honestly
out.
it's kind of refreshing because growing up, we were kind of in the Yankees just buy everything they want era, but also we didn't see it much because '09 they won, and then before that it was like early thousands that they were
Yeah,
really relevant. So
but
like we got the
they
last half of it, and they
but
still
we
had a
got to
high
see
payroll.
them with A-Rod and Sheffield and, like,
Sure,
we
the high
saw
price
all
guys for
yeah,
sure.
we saw all of those guys get bought. Like, we saw Clemens, like,
Yeah, but now
I
the Dodgers are just The Dodgers are them now.
The
The
Dodgers are
Dodgers
the
are we
Yankees.
will yeah. The Dodgers have morphed into the Yankees, and the Yankees are still the Yankees. I mean, they still have fucking a salary tax or
Mhm.
luxury tax higher than you can imagine,
Yeah.
whatever. But the Dodgers are Yankeeing better than the Yankees could ever Yankee right now. I mean, it's
They are
crazy.
like
It's
think
crazy.
like we just said, 6-time Gold Glove winner or whatever in the outfield. MVP. The guy won an MVP playing
Yeah.
right field for the Red Sox, and they're just like, move to second base. Do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the right fit, Aaron Judge provides a good bat that honestly, the best case for Aaron Judge is to go to a team like that where he doesn't have to hit first or second in a fucking lineup. He back cleanup and not only rake in fucking 45 home runs, but probably closer to the 150
Yeah.
RBIs area. Like,
Mhm.
he's not skating by with 110 RBIs. He's going to fucking bat people in
Yeah.
with a better lineup around him.
It's
That's the dream for Aaron Judge and a team that should get him. I don't know.
honestly, if I'm the Yankees and Brian Cashman, please don't listen to this. There's one move that I go out of my way to make.
Getting rid of Stanton?
No,
Okay.
I take Anthony Volpe, Jason Dominguez, Peraza, Cabrera, whoever the hell they
All the
want,
young guys they have.
and you get either Shohei or Otani or Mike Trout.
No, no, Mark. You're just doing the
But
same thing. You're doing the
no,
same thing.
but here's the thing.
But Shohei is a pitcher and the slugger that you
Shohei
want. Yeah.
gets you both. He literally gets you both.
Shohei, yeah, I mean,
He,
somebody's got to get rid
he's
of him.
unhappy. He's unhappy in LA. I don't know if you saw that
I
quote. He went
did see
back
the
to Japan.
Japanese. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was just like, yeah, wasn't really happy with how this season turned out. The guy that just hit like 45 home runs and had a 2.6 ERA, he's
Right.
like, yeah, wasn't really happy. It's not because of him.
No. Or how's about Mike Trout, who also hit 45 home runs and was hurt for a month and a half?
Yeah, he played
Or however long.
115 games. He had 45 home. That
Yeah, I mean
guy's
that guy's fucking insane. Mike Trout.
he's
Mike Trout
ridiculous.
is yeah.
Yeah.
He's like the MVP. He's like the LeBron. Well, actually, it has to be Shohei now because he pitches and fucking bats.
No,
But
but
they're like,
I know the comparison. He is the LeBron of baseball because he could do this every single year.
I'm like, yeah, it's Mike Trout.
Yeah, and
That's
there's
what he
like,
does.
yeah, we don't need to give him an MVP. We already gave him 4 or what? It's 3 in Trout's case, 4 in LeBron's case, but they just won't even need to do it anymore because it's just like, yeah, that's just who he is. He's just that good. And so go and get one of those guys, sign people, be the Yankees. Oh, it's weird for me to sit here and tell the Yankees to be the Yankees. I'm tired of living in central New York and dealing with this. Like, just hearing all the time, it's like, oh, the Yankees fucking suck. They're a bunch of losers. Aaron Judge can't hit in the playoffs. Just go be the Yankees again, please, so I don't have to listen to it. I'd rather listen to happy Yankee fans than Yankee fans complaining about the same thing for 5 straight years.
Yeah, Yankees fans have to get that fucking chip back on their shoulder and just start. They should be winning the shit. They know they can be. Stop talking about the past. Just start looking forward and just begging for something to happen.
Mhm.
Don't keep preaching that this team can win when they can't.
They
They
can't.
can't win.
They can't win.
Yeah, we've beat that dead horse. The Yankees stink, and they
Yeah.
need to make a change. I'm excited. The Yankees could make it really fun, or they could
They
just
could.
re-sign Judge for a boatload, re-sign Luis Severino,
Mhm.
bring in fucking a 38-year-old closer.
Yeah.
I don't know. They could be boring as fuck, or they could be really
So
exciting. So
it's either they sign Edwin Diaz or they bring back David Robertson.
yes, yeah,
Th-
yeah.
Those are the 2 options that the Yankees would go this offseason. It was great baseball talk. I do want to talk about the NFL. We've got week 8 coming up. Or actually, you know what? No, we're going to save the NFL for later. Then we'll transition to FanDuel. So we'll do the NBA right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's really been something this year.
Yeah, you went on
Why
with parody. Holy fuck.
parity in just teams winning when they shouldn't? Why? If you're
Yeah.
the San Antonio Spurs, if you're Greg Popovich,
Mhm.
how do you approach that team every day and be like, no, I want us to win that game? Get Victor Wembanyama. Do it. They're
They
3-1.
yeah. I did see that the NBA is taking tanking especially serious this year, is what they said. Like Adam Silver had come out with something a
They've
week
said that
before
for
the
5
season.
straight years. They said that for
Yeah,
Zion. They said that for Cade. It's
I get it.
every year when it's the new consensus number one and teams want to tank.
Is Cade? Hear me out. Cade's nice. He can score. Cade has to be the most underwhelming of that last that mega class, right? I
Well,
mean, he's not Zion, and he wasn't Zion out of college,
no,
and
he
he's
wasn't.
certainly not whatever Victor Wembanya is.
Wembanyama.
Whatever. Yeah, Wembanya, whatever.
No, it's Cade and Anthony Edwards. It's like neither of them were like super duper
You
consensus
mean the
number one
Popeyes
overall
guy?
picks.
You mean the guy who eats too much Popeyes?
Cat, I love you. Please shut your mouth. I love Karl Anthony Towns, one of my favorite players. Just
Coming from the guy who got talked down to for
yeah,
by Jimmy Butler for lack of effort and practice. Yeah,
hmm
what a fucking hypocritical clown.
yeah.
Fuck him. I love Anthony Edwards. Cat's a fucking
I
asshole.
love Ant too, but let's just here. Hold on.
You got some cool stream thing going on here. Oh yeah, pulling
There
up
we
the
go.
stand. It's so early though.
I
I'm
know.
just praying that it's so early. Is the
No,
thing.
it's very early. Heat are 1-3. 76ers are 1-4, which is hilarious.
The Nets are 1-3.
Nets are 1-3, also hilarious, but in my opinion, expected. I don't think that team's very good.
Okay.
Wizards are 3-1.
I would
Like
say that's if you looked at the playoffs right there, those 8 teams, the Wizards is the only team that doesn't make sense, right?
no,
Because
the rest
the
of those
Cavs this
teams I
year
think are
should.
good.
Yeah.
Like even the Knicks, like I think the Knicks will be pretty good this year. It's who's not in there that's surprising.
Right.
It's the Heat, it's the 76ers. And then go
Nope.
to the West. Portland's 4-0. We were talking about them also undefeated against the spread. Utah, why? Stop it. San Antonio, they're 3-2. They lost one more game. Stop it. Warriors 2-2, Clippers 2-2, Mavericks 1-2. At least the Thunder and Kings are doing what they're supposed to do.
I mean, dude, the Lakers. I'm watching them right now. The
The
Lakers stink. The problem with the Lakers too is like you watch, and this might just be me being not like a I don't know what you want to call it, but I don't watch a lot of the NBA, but I
Mhm.
definitely have been watching more in past year. Like the Lakers don't even run a fucking offense when their starters are on the court. They don't. I mean, even this B squad that they're running with right now, where they have like just Anthony Davis and like Lonnie Walker, who is actually one of their starters. Yeah, you're seeing it right there. They're at least moving the ball, but like watch the first 7 minutes of a Lakers game and see
Mhm.
how fucking abysmal that offense is, if you want to call it that. They run down. They either run an ISO to any one of their 5 guys, and then they'll just kick it out with 3 seconds and jack a three. Like they have no attempt at they have no ability to score the fucking basketball. It's wild. It's wild how bad this team is at moving the ball and making scoring opportunities.
This roster here, this depth chart.
Yeah.
The Lakers last year, they had Melo, they had Dwight. They were
Yep.
old, but they had some names.
Yep.
They had Rondo, and the
Yeah.
whole thing was, man, 5 years ago, this would be a great team.
Yep.
Like this would be an unbeatable team. This team never was, nor never will be good.
No.
Like you've got Russ, Dennis Schroeder, and Kendrick Nunn, and Pat Bev are your point guards.
Yeah. I mean, not for nothing. I know you're anti-Russ. You're a big anti-Russ guy, correct?
No,
Oh, you're pro Russ
I'm
in the right spot.
at this point. I think Russ is not what Russ was when you are that freak of like that much of an athletic freak, and his game was never going to age gracefully. He wasn't going to age like a LeBron. He wasn't going to age like a Kevin Durant, how he's aged.
Yep.
That was never going to happen with Russ. So I think Russ is done. But just in terms of his career, I'm very pro Russ. Russ was a
Yep.
great player. And they just no. How do you not know how to use Russell Westbrook?
Right. The one thing that jumps off the screen to me when you look at this roster is like it has the potential to me. If Russ could pivot into the type of player of like a Ben Simmons who just uses his freak athleticism for all the
Mm-hmm.
right defensive teams or defensive things and just refuses to shoot the fucking ball. Did you see the clip tonight where Kyrie passed like dishes to
Yep.
Ben Simmons? Very similar to the playoff one from Embiid a
Mm-hmm.
couple years ago. Dishes right to him and yell. Literally, you can hear him yelling, "Shoot the fucking ball, Ben," or
Yep.
"Shoot the ball, Ben." Like they're just begging this guy to shoot the ball. If Russ could start becoming that, where he just refuses to shoot the ball and just uses all of his effort defensively, along with Pat Bev, who's really good. Lonnie Walker comes for Pop's defensive category or
Mm-hmm.
camp, and Anthony Davis used to be like depoy candidate, and LeBron.
It's
LeBron's
still
just fucking LeBron. He's gonna get every call that goes his way. He'll be fine. This it jumps off to me that this could be the best defensive five in the league. It
it,
really does.
it could be a really good defensive five if LeBron played defense. Um,
True.
it that's you would have to get him to buy in on actually giving effort on defense, which he hasn't done in a number of years, unless it results in him getting a highlight chase down block because that's all he cares about.
Right.
But yeah, AD's a great defender still. I know he doesn't have the mobility he once did because he continues to get leg injuries, which happens sometimes when you're that big. But still really good rim protector, still a versatile defender. He can defend outside on the 3-point line. Lonnie Walker, if I remember correctly, coming from the Spurs, correct?
Yes.
It,
The Pop School of
yeah.
Defense.
Who would think that a guy coming from a Greg Popovich coached team would know anything about playing defense? Why would that be? Yeah, he's a good defender. Pat Bev
Such a
is
joke.
Marcus Smart light, just in terms of he's pesky as hell and everyone hates him.
Right.
And Russ is such a good athlete that same thing with LeBron. If he tried on defense, I'm sure he'd be very good at it.
Yeah.
It
It's become a thing now. You want to talk about culture with the SNY thing and stuff. The Lakers are dead. Like that's a squad that has become abysmal.
mhm.
I couldn't even name the coach that they just hired, which is fucking pathetic. I mean, talk about
Marvin
just
Ham.
yeah. I respectfully to Marvin, who
It, you don't want to mess with Marvin Ham. He got shot in the face one time.
Well, they should have done a better job because this guy's still
Oh,
kicking and he's fucking leading the Lakers to an abysmal start. And this team is gonna be a lottery pick the way it's going.
oh,
It's
they're
fucking
going to be.
pathetic. I mean, you're right. You talked about a lack of depth. They have no
Mhm.
depth. Their starters stink. They just showed a stat for their the first half shooting from behind the arc. The Nuggets are 4 of 5 from behind the arc. They've shot it 5 times from 3. The Lakers, anyone want to take a guess? Mark? How many
Eight,
shots?
18 from behind the arc.
3 for 16.
16. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, what the fuck are we doing? How as a coach do you not just every time someone jacks a three you go, my fucking god, it's terrible. I can't watch it. I refuse unless I have money on this game. I'm not watching a Laker game for the rest of
Mhm.
eternity with this fucking squad. It's terrible.
Yeah, and look at that second unit. Schroeder, Reeves, like
Reeves.
LeBron. Yeah, Austin Reeves obviously can't play two positions, so mix in one other guy.
And
Kendrick Nunn if you want. Juan Toscano Anderson and Damian Jones. Thomas Bryant, who's out.
Is he hurt again?
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
But what are we? You can't compete. This can't compete with like Duke. Like, that's one of the worst second units in the NBA. At least like the Pacers second unit, they send out like Benedict Mathurin, and that guy's fucking nasty.
Benedict Mathurin.
He's filthy. He's having a great start to his year. And
Yeah.
there's no one on that second unit. And outside of LeBron and AD at this point, there's no one on this team that I'm like, yeah, they can go off for 35 and make 70% of their threes, just be an absolute game changer. There's no one. You have LeBron and Anthony Davis, and that's great. What do you have outside of that? Look at the teams that make the finals and make the playoffs. Look at the Warriors last year. If it wasn't Steph, it was Clay. If it wasn't Clay, it was Jordan Poole. If it wasn't Jordan Poole, Kayvon Looney had some great
It was
games.
Andrew Wiggins.
And
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins. Like,
That guy was a playoff star last year.
yeah. Look at the Celtics. If it wasn't Tatum, it was Brown. If it wasn't Brown, it was Al Horford in the playoffs. It was Grant Williams in the playoffs. It was Peyton Pritchard in the playoffs.
I mean, Grant Williams, I don't even know if we should use his name on here after the brutal suspension he's taken now, trying to murder guys out on the court.
That was one of the dumbest
Attacking
things I've ever
officials.
seen. Guy was standing up and she happened to be standing there. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
Assault.
Assault.
Yeah, that's the funniest thing to me.
Insert the Adam Schefter tweet. And
I love that they got Joe Dumars doing it now. Yeah. I love they got Joe Dumars running out assaults for people.
Yeah,
He, the bad boy Pistons guy's like, hey, you can't stand up in a crotch. That's no good.
that is very fun. It's like if Bill Laimbeer was doing
Right.
any of those bad boy, but specifically Bill Laimbeer, because his entire job was to go out there and punch people in the face. But hey, he's coaching a WNBA team now, and he's doing a very good job. So shout out Bill Laimbeer.
Which one?
You had to ask me that. Was it? It wasn't the Aces. You would know if it was the Aces.
Well, the Aces is Becky Hamilton.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Racist.
It was the Aces. She took over for him.
Oh, okay.
Becky Hammond took. Also, it's Hammond, not Hamilton.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, she took over for Bill Laimbeer. That's why I was thinking it was the Aces. He also coached the Liberty before that.
Liberty Bibberty.
Yeah, Liberty Bibberty. So, yeah, shout out Bill Laimbeer. One of my other Mark, my former college roommate, one of his favorite NBA players of all time for seemingly no reason. He's just like, I like the guy, punch people. I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, go off, yeah.
Yeah, go off, King. Let's jump over to the NFL.
Yep.
Let me jump over to FanDuel. And let's look at this from a betting perspective. Like I said, if you want to hear Josh and I talk more about betting, you should listen to Outside the Box Score Saturday mornings on Twitter Spaces. Look out for updates on that, by the way, as well. We might be switching things up with that in the coming days eventually. Who knows?
Yeah.
Let's go NFL. Might be able to share this. Well, hold on. Let me try something. No, because it's on a different window. Can I bring it over to this one? No, I can't, because I'm logged in on a different account. God damn you, Google.
Damn you, Google.
So, Joshy boy.
Oh, yeah.
What do you like this week?
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, okay. 2 weeks ago was the first big mega goat put your nuts on the table loss for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the Bucks to cover against who they play, not against Carolina. Who was it
the
week
Steelers.
before? No, it was the Falcons. Sorry. They did play the Steelers for it was 3 weeks ago then.
Yeah.
The Falcons. It's the Bucks, Mark. I'll tell you why it's the Bucks.
I'm not doing it. I can't with the Bucks anymore. They stink. They stink, Josh.
It's gonna be a dummy amount on the Bucks tomorrow. This is just vintage reverse line movement. Absolutely vintage. 22% of the bets are on the Bucks plus 1.5 when it opens, or on the Bucks spread line. Opens at plus 1.5. They're now favorites in the game. Give me Tampa Bay and just pray that this game is rigged. I mean, Mike Evans, I don't know. It would be bad. It'd be a bad look for Mike Evans, who clearly signed something that the NFL came out and said, no, that wasn't an autograph. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I saw the greatest tweet ever on that was like, "We actually bet real money on this bullshit." Like what?
Yeah,
Like clearly an autograph for
the
something.
clearest autograph.
But that's not the point. It's the Bucks. Also, just from a game perspective, I mean, the Buccaneers defense is obviously their strength. Lamar, if they can lock up Lamar, then they probably should play fine. And their defense has not been the same Baltimore defense that it's really known for. It's tops, but their passing defense specifically has been exploited this year. I
Yeah,
mean, look in those
it's not
Miami
good.
games and those in the Cincinnati game. So they have some
Kyle
weaknesses.
Hamilton has not been everything they wanted him to be. That's for sure.
No. So that's where the eye jumps off just instantly because that's the biggest game probably for me of the week,
Hmm.
and it starts on Thursday, so it'll tell me how good that game goes. Another one that I'm eyeing that I'll talk about later, more in depth on our other show. RELAX. Relax. Okay? Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are going into Buffalo. And he said it. I mean, I've never seen Aaron Rodgers with this underdog type mentality, I guess, when they asked him about him making the playoffs. And he was like, what? What? Of course we can. He's like, this might have been the best loss we could have gotten because now nobody thinks that we have any right to win this game on Sunday night in Buffalo. And that's exactly what I want, which is a scary line coming from the reigning MVP, reigning back
Back
to
to
back
back.
MVP. And I don't care about his receivers. I don't care about anything. He's never been a double digit dog in his career. Game opens at 11.5, already down to 11. He's
10 and
in
a half on
games.
FanDuel.
Okay. So clearly bets are coming in on the Packers to cover and it's moving
Hmm.
down. That's classic. Like that's fine. I'm okay with riding it still probably to the 10.5. 10 I'll still
Hmm.
take it because I think that they're actually live to win the game, and I'll tell you why. But or maybe I'll tell you why on Sunday. I'll save this, give you a little teaser for it. But I think that the Packers in games where he's a 7 point spread, or sorry, more than a seven or more. Sorry,
Yeah, 7 or more
seven to
point
nine and a
dog.
half, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's 0-4 straight up, so he has not won one of those games. But he's 3-1 against the spread. So dude knows how to cover, right? And that's all I'm needing him to do here, and it's to cover by 10 points.
Hmm.
I think he can do it. Josh Allen, Bills fans have gone to the nether regions to claim that he's the best thing that Earth has gifted us with, and that he's doing it while playing less quarters than anybody because they've gotten to sit him for two
Hmm.
games. Great. How well does that pan out for anybody? Added rest for anybody in these fucking games or in these seasons never works. This is fine. This is a great tune-up spot for getting the rust off after a bye week. In comes Aaron fucking Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, which have looked terrible. Let's be honest. The last 2 weeks, they lose to the Commanders, who are actually stinky with Taylor
Hmm.
Heineke, and they lost to the Giants in London, which is just fluke shit. Like
Yeah.
you're in London, they're actually better than they are in past years. Whatever,
Hmm.
whatever. But I like those two games. Those two games really stick out to me. I'll have more, but those are the two games that I'm eyeing right now that I'm going to be on.
I I don't hate the Packers to cover. This is a game that I'm very undecided on right now because it is the first Sunday night football game in Buffalo with fans since 2007.
Yeah,
It's been 15 years. That place is going to be off the charts.
I got a guy reselling season tickets down in the pit there. Like he's like
Hmm.
100 level, 500 a pop. I
Yeah.
mean, these things are going. It's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah,
It
they've gotten the Monday night, but the Sunday night's a different atmosphere for sure.
yeah, it is. And so that's what worries me about this game. I really I'm undecided on it because I could see Green Bay. It is Aaron Rodgers. It is the back-to-back MVP. I know he's not throwing to anybody.
Hmm.
There is that part of me that's like, yeah, they could either win this game or lose by a very small number. But part of me is also like the Bills could win this game by 30.
Do you remember what happened the last time they hosted Monday Night Football for the first time in a while against the Patriots when they welcomed Bill Belichick
Yeah,
last year?
that was that
I
the
believe it was
win
the win
game?
game, but
Yeah.
also they lost. I'm I mean, and this is take this with a grain of salt. I also loathe the
Yeah,
Buffalo
you hate
Bills.
the Buffalo Bills. That's why I
So
never listen to you on your Bills bets.
yeah,
Um,
but I might be able to. I threw out a couple stats this week. I mean,
no, and honestly, that was the best you've ever backed up a bet against the Bills.
thanks,
Normally,
bro.
it's just like the Bills
They
stink,
stink.
and
Yeah,
yeah, normally that's your analysis, which is never correct.
not this year or
I
last year.
we do have a London game this week, Sunday morning, 9:30, the Jaguars and the Broncos. I am hammering the Jaguars. Um, I hate the Broncos. Russell Wilson's doing high knees while everyone's trying to sleep on the plane. It the guy's a loser. The Denver Broncos are a loser organization. So are the Jaguars,
Yeah,
but
so are the Jaguars.
so are the Jaguars. I'm all over the Jags this week. Take them money line, take them spread, take them however the hell you want. Uh, I'm just I love that.
My
I absolutely love it.
my big nuke play last week was the Jags -2.5 or
I
-3.
I was also on the Jags last week. We got burned.
The Jags, the Jags. I've wanted them to be so good.
Mhm.
They're bad.
They're not
I
good.
I
Neither are
don't
the
even think.
Broncos.
Yeah, that's fair. No, honestly, totally fair. These games tend to go over in London, and I could actually just think these games are just like sloppily overs, like maybe like
Mhm.
multiple defensive touchdowns, a kicker
Yeah.
off or something to sneak the over because it's like 38.5 or something.
Yeah,
What
39.5.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just I don't want to bet anything in this game to be completely. I'm just gonna watch and hope for like fucking the stadium to collapse on itself. I mean, this is a nightmare situation. Also,
No.
for people who say like the Jags are bad but they're fun, no, they're not.
No,
They're not.
they're
They're
not
not
as
fun to
fun as they
watch.
should be. They should
Trevor.
be a lot more fun.
Also, I don't know if I was lied to about Trevor Lawrence. Does that guy just not have any fucking zip on his ball? He
No,
throws the slowest meatball of a spiral I've ever seen
it's
from a
very strange.
starter.
It's because I think it's just, there's that ever so slight size difference in the college and NFL football.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't it his ball in college, Trevor Lawrence in colle threw one of the best balls I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's just he struggles to get a great grip on it, and he still throws a clean ball. It's
Yeah,
still a
it's a
nice
spiral.
yeah,
It's a
it's a
nice throw.
tight ball, but you're
It's
right, the
weak.
zip is not there.
The Josh Boeheim eye test second half o meter last week, or
Mhm.
zipometer in the second half was awful. I mean, through the
Yeah.
roof's bad for this guy. I mean, he's throwing out routes that I mean, every single one I have the faith as a 285-pound man to be like, maybe I could jump that. I mean, these things are coming in fucking slow.
Yeah.
Ugh.
My other game, and we will talk more about this on the gambling show this weekend. My other game, Jets plus 2.5. Mac Jones is starting for the Patriots. Patriots can't win with Mac Jones. They can only win with Bailey Zappi, I'm afraid. Um, I'm all in on Bailey Zappi. He should be the starting quarterback.
Should
It,
he?
I think he should because at least he can fucking air it out. You want to talk about a guy that can't throw a good ball? Mac Jones does not throw a good ball.
But that's another guy that in college he threw a deep ball. He threw a deep ball, but I mean these receivers were wide fucking open a lot of the
It,
time, probably.
that's the thing. His receivers were always open. And God, what were their names again? Jamison Williams.
Jalen,
And
did
J-
he have Jalen Waddle for a year?
yeah, I think he had Waddle
Yeah,
for a year. Yeah. It, like, of
yeah.
course they were always open. It, he had NFL, like Pro Bowl level receivers.
I feel bad for Mac Jones because I feel like he's falling into the category now of a guy who's playing to not lose his job against a
Mhm.
guy who, when Zappy gets into those games, he has
He's playing.
nothing to lose.
Yeah.
He just comes in and he fucking balls out. Mac
He
Jones is
slings it,
trying
man.
to just manage a game, not make any mistakes, and he's
Mhm.
tense. And I mean, obviously, I've never played in the NFL. I don't know how to get guys to be stress free in the
Yeah.
most stressful environment ever. But it's just it's not working right now. And I don't actually think he's bad. I think it's just like it's that
I
mentality that he has and something. And to be honest, we want to talk about teams like Chicago, Add New England to the Chicago realm of absolutely zero fucking weapons,
None.
and Green Bay in terms of receiving.
Yeah.
Because Christian Watson stinks. He hasn't been great. Romeo Dubs is not the guy we were promised.
Mhm.
I mean, they finally used a first rounder for a wide receiver, and they should do it again because
Yeah.
it stunk. Didn't work. Guess what? Pick 25 isn't good enough. You need to fucking trade up. It seems silly to trade up for a wide receiver, but go get fucking Jamison Williams or Drake London or fucking somebody
Chris
because this guy
Olave,
stinks.
like
Yeah,
it.
anybody. God,
That didn't work.
fucking
Even
nightmare.
like I think even if Green Bay had Traylon Burks, I think that would work. Just super
Sure.
speedy, super shifty guy that can get open.
Sure.
Like they don't. That's what Dubs was supposed to be, and he just isn't.
No, Dubs was cursed when he dropped the fucking week 1 touchdown
Yeah.
pass in Minnesota. His career was tanked for me ever since then. Honestly, the matchups this week, there's only one matchup that I'm seeing, or sorry, two matchups of over, three matchups of over 5,
Yeah.
or sorry, over 4.5 in the Carolina game. You got the 11 in Buffalo, 10 in Philly, and
Mhm.
9.5 in Dallas. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of close games this week, and it's not because it's good teams playing good teams. We got Houston we got Houston, Tennessee. We got fucking the Niners and the Rams, which if you thought was going to be good teams at the beginning of the year, you like me were mistaken.
Mhm.
I mean, it fucking terrible. Honestly, one of the best games on the spread might be the Giants and the Seahawks.
It is.
So, yeah, that's probably the marquee 4 o'clock game for most.
Yeah.
Washington, Indianapolis ain't cutting it. Sam Ellinger doesn't get my fucking. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
a nightmare.
Cincinnati, Cleveland might be fun. Like the Ohio Bowl is usually kind of fun. Yeah, Patriots, Jets. I mean, Jets are. I guess they're just good, and I guess that they don't need Zach Wilson to throw the ball, which is cool. And they just got James Robinson to replace Brees Hall for a sixth that could become a fifth. I'm very much a don't pay running backs, don't give up assets for running backs guy. And I was like, a six for James Robinson? Are you kidding me?
Right. I've long held that guys just don't even Robert Quinn, like you said, he's coming off 18 sacks. You got him for a fourth. Like
Yeah.
draft picks mean so much in the NFL.
Yeah.
That you can trade guys for like insane value in the 4th round. Dak Prescott was a 4th round pick. He's gonna be a starter for a fucking decade. They value this. Guys trust their scouting so much that they know that pick's valuable. That's like when what was his name? Howard from Chicago. Then went to Philly. What was his first name? Jeremy?
Yeah, Jordan Howard.
Jordan Howard. He got traded for a 5th or a 6th after 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. And I was like, running backs are worth nothing. They're useless.
But at the same time, I see James Robinson going to the Jets, and I'm like, God, what a great pickup for a six that could become a fifth. That's insane.
It shows a lack of faith in Michael Carter, I think, but
which is weird.
Yeah, but I think Michael Carter is a little different than what James Robinson does. I think Michael Carter will take over the receptions that Brees Hall saw,
He will.
James Robinson is the first and second down pound it guy. So I think it'll work out fine.
I think it'll work out great. So, did you put a FanDuel lineup in?
I did. Last thing on that, best part about that is they probably just don't have to use Ty Johnson anymore. That's probably for the best.
That's certainly for the best. I don't know if Nunez or Austin sent their lineups in the chat since my phone's been up there.
They did not.
Okay, so we can just go through ours.
Yeah, they are rat bastards.
I will give an update on last week.
Thank you.
What are the standings? There we go. Zach finished in last, 84.02 points. I finished in third, 91.2. Josh, you finished in second, 105.2. And Austin, what the hell was Austin's lineup? 133 points.
He went with the Davis Mills and Brandon Cook stack.
And scored 133 points because his running backs were Josh Jacobs and Austin Eckler.
And Etienne, who put up 18.
And Etienne, yeah. And that's with Michael Gallup, who didn't play. He had
I
Michael
also
Gallup.
had Michael Gallup. He played.
Oh,
He
oh,
played.
he played.
No,
He just
no
got
targets.
no targets. Okay.
Not a single target. Yep.
Wow. So good week for Austin. 133 points with taking a 0. I had Kenyon Drake in my lineup. He had 11 rushes for 5 yards.
Yeah,
That
he got
seems
bottled up.
impossible.
And that Gus Bus guy, yeah, he was
Mhm.
back.
It was so tough week for me. Good week for Austin. Let's go to this week, Josh. If you want to go through your
Yeah.
lineup.
Well, Marky, my boy, I said it earlier. Another thing in that Tampa Bay game that I like, I've kind of adopted that this year's strategy will not only be going with the stack, but stacks in games that I think are going to be pretty high scoring. So the last time I won one of these, I've gone back to back second places, but I believe the last time I
Mhm.
won one of these, it was following Mr. 45, number 7, well, number 12. Number 12 in your heart, number 7 on the banners. It's Tom Brady.
Mhm.
Tom Brady with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Just saying, this dude's gonna go out. Both of them, I could see getting touchdowns. Again, I like the Bucks to win this game, so I think it's gonna be pretty high scoring, and that maybe like a 35-31 type situation, something like that,
Yeah.
something in that realm. And so I'll go with both of them, both of his top assets. I'll stick with wide receiver just to get it done with. A cheap wide receiver option that I found is at Atlanta's wide receiver, Drake London.
Mhm.
Only one catch last week against the Bengals, which I think they'll need to address. I mean, I trust nothing in this offense, considering they continually ignore Kyle Pitts and Drake London. I mean, any team
They,
tanking more
they
than
don't
the
throw
Atlanta
the ball. They
Falcons.
threw the ball 13 times last week.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any team tanking more than the Falcons, show them to me. I can't fucking believe it. This team
Mhm.
is just they should be fucking put up against the legislative board. We'll go on to the running backs. I got Raheem Mostert, who, by the way, the last 3 weeks he's been putting up numbers. Now that they've realized that they
Mhm.
overpaid Chase Edmonds, and
Yep.
they've kind of been willing to just say, "All right, we're done with this guy." Raheem Mostert's the stuff. Rushed 16 times for 79 yards and 4 of 5 targets last week for 30 yards and a touch. And against Pittsburgh, it's pretty stout defense even without J.J. Watt. So they're or sorry, TJ Watt. And so they're
TJ.
pretty good there. Raheem Mostert, cheap running back option at 68 against the 31st uh, opponent run ranking defense in Detroit. Also, talking about a guy who gets more opportunities. We just talked about trading away James Robinson. It's Travis Etienne, who's kind of taken the bell cow role the last couple weeks. They've trusted him a lot more. He's proven that he can actually take this. Maybe that zip comes out a little faster, get some screens working. Travis
Mhm.
Etienne, I like him to produce. And then the tight end spot, I'm finally doing it. I haven't done it all year. I'm just taking the guy who's just tight end one in scoring terms all year. It's Mark Andrews, the safest bet at tight end all year, probably him and Kels, but I like him this week, especially because that Tampa Bay stack that I'm going for.
Yep.
My defense, I went with the Houston Texans because, I mean, Houston and Tennessee, we went to an underfest. If that thing's
Yeah.
not 36 and a half, I'd be shocked.
Mhm.
Um, it would have left me enough points to go out and get Jonathan Taylor, who, with Sam Ellinger throwing the ball, I'm sure they're going to run the ball a lot this week. So
Yeah.
I like him against Washington, who's got a pretty mediocre rush defense. So that's my lineup.
I like that. Solid lineup. And I
Okay.
like it because my 2 running backs are Travis Etienne and Raheem Mostert. We have the same running backs for all of the reasons you said. Without James Robinson there, ETN is now the guy. Raheem Mostert has been very good in recent weeks. Detroit's run defense has been awful all year, just abysmal.
Yep.
Um, with my stack, I went with same game. I went triple stack Miami, Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill because Detroit also has a bad pass defense. Their entire defense is just bad. Tua, I like him to have a bounce back week. Tyreek is going to be his favorite target. It's between him and Waddle, really, but I like Tyreek more to get open this week than I like Waddle. So I'm going with him. My other 2 wide receivers are Gabe Davis and Adam Thielen. Thielen can be up and down at times, but it's been a couple of weeks, so I feel like he's due to have one of those just 110 yards and a touchdown games, which he tends to have every once in a while.
Sure.
What?
So you're not a big Aki guy? You know the TikTok fella?
No, I don't go on TikTok. You know this.
Sure. Okay. I'll show you stuff.
My other wide receiver is Gabe Davis. Green Bay's secondary is not very good. He's going to be the deep threat for Allen. And Gabe Davis is always a threat for like just a random 70-yard touchdown. So love Gabe Davis in that matchup. At tight end, I'm going with Dallas Goedert because every week he's 5,900 and every week he gets 10 points. I fell into the Kyle Pitts trap again last week. I'm done.
Don't even get me fucking started. Don't get me started.
Dallas Goedert's the only tight end you will see me use in DFS the rest of the year, and that is a guarantee. That left me with enough money in my flex to get Dalvin Cook. Arizona is stinky. That's another one where I think Minnesota, if they use Dalvin Cook correctly, which it seems to be a week in and week out thing, they decide to use him correctly or not. I like him against Arizona this week, and my defense, because it doesn't matter, and because Sam Ehlinger is at quarterback, I'm going to take the Commanders.
Nice. I like it.
So that, just save that there. That just about does it, folks. I want to thank you so much for listening. Josh, thank you for doing this show with me. Of course. Yep. Remember, follow all of us on Twitter down below. If you haven't done it yet, I'm not going to repeat the names again because they've been scrolling the entire goddamn time, outside of the fact that I realized that between the semicolon... it says episode 6. Son of a bitch.
No, just change it now. They won't know. Change it now. You can change it mid-ear. Yeah, look at this. And it's
there we
episode 68. No time.
I went in earlier because I forgot a space between the semicolon and the W in World Series. So I went through and like backspaced, and I must have accidentally got rid of the 8. I just noticed. Anyway,
you were only in here for a half hour before I got on.
Yep.
Checking that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I wrote it all. Forget it. Make sure to follow all of us on social, including at Hot Stove Pod. I didn't say that one earlier. Like, comment, and subscribe here on YouTube. Tune in to Outside the Box Score. That'll be me hosting a Twitter space. Josh will be there Saturday morning. Might be 10:30, might be 11:30, might be 3 o'clock. Who the hell knows? We never really. It won't be 3 o'clock.
I can do a morning. I'll be driving up to Canada. Let's do a morning.
Let's do a morning.
Driving.
We'll do
Sounds
a morning
good.
again this week. We'll get that out. We'll get the tweets out. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for listening, and peace.
Yep.